This is a very sensitive topic for the normies, but we are not normies, so it has to be said out loud. I don't know if it's obvious enough yet to you, but the evil forces have been systematically feminizing men for the past 50 years, and it has recently grown at an exponential rate. Just look at the way many men dress today. Look at how physically weak they are compared to their grandfather's generation. Look at the way they carry themselves on the street. Look at how emotionally unstable they are. Before I get into why all of this is detrimental to society, we need to understand why the evil forces do this in the first place. What is their goal? Listen carefully. They want control and disorder. Yes, they want both. Feminine traits such as being overly emotional and prioritizing feelings over facts are easy to take advantage of in times of desired control. But they also like seeing chaos and disorder because, 1, it genuinely turns them on seeing humans so lost in their life, and 2, it allows for them to come in and solve the very problem they created to establish their authority. How do they feminize us, though? It starts from a young age where you are most malleable. They force you into the school system, which is taught mainly by women that tell us how to deal with bullies by being kind or to go tell the teacher instead of learning how to deal with bullies physically. They brainwash you with TV shows that depict men as bums, lazy, losers, and someone that the wifey always has to baby and look after. These TV shows almost always depict the man simping for the woman and seeing her as the prize of the relationship. It's so ingrained in the culture that men started getting on one knee for the woman to propose to her. I better not see any of you do this, men. Have some respect for yourself. With social media, clearly their most powerful weapon, they spread the whole idea that masculine traits are toxic and whatnot. They sedate men from a young age with pornography, which makes them lazy and want to stay in the house all day. They have laws in place that don't allow men to exercise their innate masculine authority in their own households. He has no control over his own wife and kids. They can do whatever they want. His wife can leave them and take the majority or even all of his assets. His kids can easily be taken away from him, despite financially providing for them all his life. He has no choice but to submit. But little do the evil forces know, they are digging their own graves. Let's start out with the effects that this systematic feminization of men has on marriages. The only way for a relationship to thrive in the long term is with masculine and feminine polarity. This leads to the best results in terms of the fulfillment of the man and woman, raising righteous children in a stress-free environment, etc. Man is dominant, and woman is submissive. Man is in full control and carries all the responsibility, and the woman follows. However, what society has done is flipped that whole dynamic, where it's the woman that's dominant and the man is submissive. It's the norm that the wife tells her husband what to do. Men aren't taught to be ambitious. Men aren't taught to be stoic. Men aren't taught to prioritize their goals over their women. And then you wonder why most of you married are in sexless marriages. How can a woman respect a man like that? Women become masculine as a reaction to a feminine, submissive man. Would you want your daughter to be with a man that repulsive? I didn't think so. Now, if the home isn't in order because the relationship between wife and husband is messed up, what do you think that means for society if society is simply hundreds of millions of homes? The home is the foundation of civilization. It is where everything starts. So if the homes are dysfunctional, then society will inevitably be dysfunctional. Where do most criminals come from? Broken homes, of course. And speaking of criminals, broken homes aren't the only factor. Remember, they are programming you to act emotional from a very young age. And nothing is more dangerous to a society than an individual with the strength of a man and the emotional instability of a woman. Write this down. I'll say it one more time. Nothing is more dangerous to a society than an individual with the strength of a man and the emotional instability of a woman. Society is teaching men not to be stoic, but to process emotions the same way a woman does. And we get surprised when men can't do that and instead go berserk. But wait, where's the scientific proof for that? For what? To state an obvious fact that simply requires you to connect the dots? Look at where most criminals come from. Single mother households. Raised by feminine energy all day, every day, without any masculine role models in their life. It's only going to get worse as well, men. The West is done for. The only reason it's still standing is because it's thriving off of its past achievements. And all of that won't matter in the next 20 to 30 years. Because when you create a society filled with feminine men, it will always lead to degeneracy and corruption from within. Resentful men all have a breaking point, and once that is reached, then it is over, especially if it's on a large scale. Other countries like China are teaching their boys masculinity, duty, and responsibility in school. It's part of their curriculum. They have society set up in a way where the needs of their men are met, whether it be physical, mental, or sexual. When you have a country built for boys to become men, the men are focused, the families are stronger, and as a result, the country grows more and more powerful. K-pop is not allowed in China anymore. Homosexuality is banned from TVs. Boys have to go through masculinity camps in school and learn to become stoic. Family is the foundation of the Chinese culture, not individualism. Look, I'm not here to praise China. I'm simply here to tell you that the West is screwed. Because while the Western man is trying to convince his wife to cook even a little meal for him, the Chinese man has become such a person that his wife handles all of his needs in the back end so that he can focus on helping China expand. No distractions whatsoever. The Chinese are now everywhere, in Jamaica, Africa, South America, you name it. They are so focused on their mission and duty to their country. All I'm saying is don't be surprised if the West were to be conquered one day by China or a country like it, whose men are in conquer mode. Reminds me of how the Europeans used to dress up the Native American youth in feminine clothing and made them do feminine tasks so that they were tamed. That way, they were ready to be conquered and stay conquered. This is happening right now via technology and social media algorithms pumping this feminization garbage. Feminine behavior in men is dangerous because they will cause havoc from within, and it makes that much easier to be controlled and taken over. Do you want that to be you? I hope you said no. Let me know in the comments how you plan to counteract this programming. Until next time, men, our return has been long overdue.